Hi, I just got back from my Nashville New Year's Eve bender weekend, so if I seem a little enlarged or puffy, if you will, that's why. Hi guys, how are you? I had the funniest idea for a video, like while I was just in the shower, I was like, I gotta fucking film that immediately, so here we are. So I had quite a few like scandals in 2022, and I thought it would be really fucking funny if I sat down and like went through all of them, what they were, my feelings on them. And they've all happened very recently. Like these all started in like October, I think, like literally 3 months ago. And I have quite a few and they're very bizarre. So also disclaimer, like I didn't want this. This was really hard for me to go through. So like, and most of the advice that I've received from like people in my life, like my family, my friends is like, any publicity is good publicity. I'm like, no, I don't feel that way at all. I have no desire to gain exposure for negative things. Like that doesn't make me happy. But at the same time, like I've just accepted this by now. Like there's nothing I can do about it. So let's just laugh about it now. Y'all are like, we aren't laughing. We actually hate you. So I got an offer today to be on this show. And it's about like, the episode that they're doing is about the negative effects that social media can have on you. And they said that they reached out to me because I'm a pretty hated person online. I was like, you're not wrong. So, okay, so the first thing that I did, I think this was in October, I made a TikTok and I was basically like, I think it's so funny how every time I go on Be Real, like everybody's fucking in bed. I was like, why are you all in bed all day long? Like get your fucking ass up and work. I was like, no one wants to work these days. Like, why is everybody in bed? People saw this video and took it as like, well, girl, you don't work. So why are you telling all of us to work when you literally have the easiest job in the world? Like you are such an out of touch asshole. I mean, you only have a certain amount of friends on Be Real, and pretty much all my friends, I only have like 20 friends on Be Real, and they're all like influencers and content creators. So I was talking about them. I know there's like an explore page on Be Real, but like why the hell would I want to look at like random people's Be Reals? Like I don't even look at that. So I wasn't talking about like the general public. I was talking about other content creators because like they all do lay in bed like all fucking day. I wasn't shitting on them. I was sort of just making a joke because I thought it was hilarious. I was being a little pick-me in the video though, because I was like, I'm so productive. Like I'm just like always out and like running errands and everyone's in bed. Like Tara, shut up. It was funny because after that video went crazy. Like people hated me for that video. And like, I found that like after that, like I was in bed like all the time. And I was like, oh, look at me go. But yeah, and then I was literally like, nobody wants to work these days. Like get your fucking ass up and work. That was like a Kim Kardashian joke. Cause remember when she said that and everyone like freaked out? But yeah, it was funny cause I never said once in the video like, oh, I have the hardest job in the world. Like feel bad for me. Like I never said that. My job is like really easy. I would say most content creators though, like do a lot more than me. Like a lot of them have a lot of shit on their plates. I don't. I personally don't. I make YouTube videos and I edit them. I make TikToks and I edit them, and I do content for OnlyFans, but like it's not like I'm having these giant production photo shoots for OnlyFans. I literally just like put a day aside like every 2 weeks and like film by myself. But yeah, that video is gonna haunt me forever. So that was the first one. I thought, oh, I can't get any worse than this. Like I was butthurt over that situation. Like I was like, wow, like it's only going up from here. No, it's not, honey. You're going into the pits of hell after that one. Like, it's not over, babe. Okay, this next one is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. Like, I will never live this one down. This is one of the bizarre ones. So I made a video in November, and it was while all the Harry Styles concerts were going on. He was doing like a residency in LA, so he did like 15 shows in a row. And on Harryween, I had 2 tickets for me and my friend Max for the pit. And I remember that night, like everyone was going. All my friends were going. Jordy was going, Rion was going, me and Max were going. I was meeting up with Curtis and Noah, and it was like all my friends were going, and I was so excited. We're leaving for the concert, and I look at my phone, and I'm trying to like get the tickets and like accept them, and like it wouldn't let me accept the tickets. So I called, and long story short, they were like, yeah, we don't have any pit seats available, and like that seller never like sent you the tickets, so we can just like replace them with balcony tickets. And I was like, that can't happen. Like I need to be in the pit with my friends. Like I've been looking forward to this like for years. I've been looking forward to this for years. Like this isn't happening to me right now. I was so upset. So I ended up like frantically going on SeatGeek and Vivid Seats, and I found 2 tickets, and I had Max's ticket too, and he was already there. I was like, that's gonna be so shitty if I'm like, hey Max, like we're not going anymore. He's already there. I was like, that can't happen. So I go on SeatGeek and Vivid Seats and I'm frantically looking for tickets. There's one ticket left on each site and they were like $4,500 each after like taxes and shit. And I bought them because I was so frantic. I was like, I just have to eat it. I have to eat this money and buy the ticket. And then the next day I made a TikTok like explaining the whole story and like how frustrated I was. And I was like, yeah, like I just spent $10,000 on Harry Styles tickets yesterday because I had no other choice. That's what I said. And people were just like, bro, like you are saying that you spent 10 grand on these tickets because you had no other choice. Like, why didn't you just not go, babe? And then it was that one, it was like, oh, you're out of touch. Like you have no idea what it's like to be broke, like all this crazy shit. And I was just like, yo, like, yeah, I was broke. I was fucking mad broke when I moved out, when I was like 18 to like 21. Are you kidding me? I had to grocery shop at the gas station. I would eat like boxed pasta with canola oil every night because I had no money. And then by the grace of God, like I got a really good job and I got lucky and I have 10 grand to spend on these tickets. Like it still hurt, but like I really wanted to do it. So I just did it. But the thing that rubbed people the wrong way, I was like, I had no other choice. But like, I mean, I didn't. People were like, apologize. I was like, what, for spending my own money? Like, no, fuck off. Like, who cares what other people want to do with their money? Like, if if anyone, like, I love Harry Styles. And if, another Harry Styles fan has a bunch of money to spend on tickets, they will. That made no sense to me. And then in like the second half of the video, I was like, I finna be in the pit. And oh my God, people freaked out about that. And I don't even know if like I think people were mostly joking with me about that. Most people, well, a lot of people turned that into a joke and they were just kind of like fucking with me. But then a lot of people were like, oh no, that means you're racist. I was like, what? I was like, I've never heard about this. Everyone was commenting this crazy shit about like how I was using AAVE, which means that because I said finna, I'm racist. And I was just like, I'm so sorry. Like, that is literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, please. That's one of those things where I'm like, there's so many ways in which this new generation is good. Don't get me wrong. Like, I would say most of it is good. But then there's the side where people come up with these crazy narratives for these, like, because I said finna, that means I'm racist. Huh? But now it's just a joke. But everyone I meet, they're like, I finna be in the pit. Everyone says that to me now. So I will truly never live that one down. And you know what? Whatever. So then after that, obviously during all of those were just in a month. So then people were like digging, like everyone was digging because everyone wanted to like find more shit on me. And I made this TikTok like in 2020, when I first started TikTok, I made this video of me going through like all of my like car accidents. Cause I used to get into like, I got into like a lot of accidents and I would get like a lot of tickets and shit like that when I was driving. Like I was a crazy bitch. Actually, well, most of my car issues like didn't make me like a crazy driver. I think I just had shitty luck. But I mentioned in this video that I got a DUI when I was 18 and I've been receiving shit on that for the past, 2.5 years. But now like after all of this, like more people knew about it and they were like, oh yeah, like it makes sense. Like this girl has like 4 DUIs. Like she doesn't give a fuck about other people, like blah, blah, blah. I have 1 DUI. I don't have 4. Every comment that I see that's mentioning like a DUI claims that I have 4. I'm like, where did you get that information? I have 1. Getting this DUI made me a better person, and here's why. People think that because I got a DUI when I was 18 means that now I am this crazy drunk driver and I don't care about killing somebody on the road when I'm driving drunk. That's just not true. Like, I was at a party one night when I was 18. I went with 2 of my friends to, we lived in like Coventry, and we drove to this party in Providence in my car. And this was this the first? Yeah. That was the first party I'd ever went to. Like that was the first like real house party I'd ever went to. I never used to like really drink like that. Like I don't know. That was one of the first parties, and we took one of those like giant bottles of pink Moscato. Like I think it's like a 1.75 milliliter, I don't know. The big bottles of pink Moscato. I took one of those and I drank like half of it and I was hammered, like not even like coherent, like hammered, like I like couldn't, like I could barely like walk. Like it was like crazy. I used to get like really like, cause I didn't drink as much. So like I would get like so hammered off of like half a bottle of wine, and I decided to drive home. And it's like, that's the worst decision that anyone could possibly make. And looking back on it, I'm like, why the fuck would I do that? Like, you can kill other people. I could have killed the people that I was in the car with me. Like, there's so much damage that you could do from driving drunk. And now, like, I'm the biggest advocate on do not drive drunk. And if you are my friend and you're with me and you're about to get in a fucking car, like, no the fuck you're not. Like, that's not sliding with me anymore. But I did it when I was 18, and I was driving home on the highway with 2 of my friends. I was going 35 miles per hour because I was so drunk that I was like, I can't drive faster than this or I will like swerve off the road. So I was driving 35 miles per hour on the highway, and there was a cop behind me, and I had to pull over because I felt like I was gonna puke. So I pulled over in the breakdown lane, and this cop just pulls up next to me, and he just sits there like in the lane just looking at me. So I didn't puke, I just shut the door, and I sat there for a minute, but he was just waiting there. So I drove off, and I'm trying to go faster at this point because I'm like, there's a cop behind me. So I went 40, I was going like 45. And then after like a few minutes, he eventually pulled me over, and you know, sobriety tested me, I got a DUI, I got the whole thing. After that night, I never drove drunk again. And I am so grateful that that happened, because that was the first time I ever drove drunk, and I would never do it again because of that. And because of other reasons, obviously, but that just like really taught me at a young age, like, don't do that shit. I got caught the first time I tried that shit. And after that, I tried to use it as an example in my friend group, because I ended up meeting a different friend group like a year after that, and I remember they were always out driving drunk, and I was just like, guys, like, I literally got a DUI. Like, why are we doing this? And I was just like, I'm so happy that I got one at a young age so that I'll never do it again. But yeah, I don't know where the whole narrative, like, oh yeah, she's 4 and she still does it. Like, fuck off. Like, no, I don't. You don't know me. When you make mistakes at whatever age, whatever mistake you make, if you learn from it, that's amazing. Don't ever regret. If you've done shitty things in your past, don't regret it. Don't like dwell on it. Just be happy that you learned from it if you did, you know? The best lessons are taught from fucking up yourself. So, okay, this is the last one, and it's really a grand finale. It's pretty wild. So I have a bird named Marty. I have a parrot. I got Marty August of 2021, and before I got Marty, I did no research. I did probably 30 minutes of research when I woke up in the morning, and then I went out and got an African gray parrot. Don't do that. Don't do that with any animal. Never get an animal or a giant responsibility before doing the proper research, especially with a bird, because birds obviously live, like, their fucking lifespan is so long. You are signing up for the biggest responsibility of your life when you get a bird. Do your research before you get it. At least I did it after the fact, and I'm not, you know, one of those people that would just give up an animal. Like, Marty is mine for life, so that's good. But I feel like a lot of people buy birds without doing the proper research, and then they end up, you know, just rotting away in the cage for their whole life, or they get rehomed. So I go on a lot of tangents about that all the time, because people say to me all the time, they're like, I want a bird. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Do your research and talk to me, and then see if you still want to get a bird. It's like having a toddler for the rest of your life. It's definitely the most challenging thing I've ever had to do, but it's worth it. It's a rewarding challenge, and I love Marty more than I love anything. So the challenge is fine, but it's crazy. So basically, I was making TikToks with Marty when I first got him, obviously, because I was excited, and I would be like petting him in the videos. I'd be like petting his back or like under his wings and shit like that. And I would get a few comments here and there like, yo, like, don't like touch your bird on his back or under his wings, because it can like arouse them. And I only got a few of those. I remember it was like, you know, 2 months went by, and I got like a few of those comments. So I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm the smartest. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, I thought I knew freaking everything about birds. But eventually, after, you know, a few months, I looked it up on Google, and I read a few articles about how it can sexually arouse a bird if you touch them in those certain spots. Obviously it depends. Each bird is different, so like some of them I guess aren't like that, but like you never know. And for some reason, like, I thought this was the craziest thing ever. I fucking told everyone. I was so fixated on this for months. I was like, there's no way that a bird can get turned on from from petting it on his back. I thought this was the craziest discovery I've ever made. So, you know, I would talk about it with my family, my friends, I would post about it on TikTok. And then I made this dumb fucking video. Okay, screw what I said about regrets. I regret making this video. It is the cringiest video I've ever seen of myself, and I can't even believe I posted it because it was a joke, but it didn't kind of like, some things should just stay in the family group chat because me and my family thought this was the craziest thing ever. Obviously, I stopped touching him in those spots, but like we would make these crazy jokes like, oh, Marty probably wants to have your eggs now. Like, oh, like, like, oh, do you still touch under Marty's wings? Like it was like a joke in the family group chat. And so I made this fucking stupid video of me being like, oh guys, like I finally found out why my bird's been screaming so loud. It's probably because birds are really loud animals. Like Marty is the loudest thing ever, but he is loud with like all of his noises now. Like they like to learn like a bunch of different noises and they'll just like yell all day long. But he used to just screech all day long, like screeching. It was never any cool noises. It was just like repetitive screaming. And I was like, I finally think I figured out why he's been doing this. I think he's sexually frustrated because I was touching him in those spots for so long and then I stopped. And I made this dumb joke in the video. I was like, yeah, and sometimes I still do it. And I like touched under his wing for the sake of the video because I thought it would be funny, and it wasn't. It wasn't funny. And like no one really looked at it that weird. Like when I posted that video probably like a year ago, and I didn't really get like a negative response from it. Everyone was just like, oh yeah, you're kind of weird for that. Like, okay, like go off queen. Don't know what you're talking about. But recently, oh boy, I freaking like wake up one day like a month and a half ago and some account like reposted that video on their page, and they just reposted the video and it went viral. And then I was getting bombarded with all these comments like, oh, you're into animals? It is the craziest narrative ever now. Like the things that people are saying about this situation, like, oh, I'm like sexually attracted to animals. Like people are calling me a zoophile, which is just like a person who's sexually attracted to animals. And I was just like, you guys, like, I'm so sorry to break it to you, but I'm not. Like, me and Marty are just bros. Like, but I get it. Like, I watched the video the other day and I was like, of course people think that. Like, that's the weirdest video I've ever watched of myself. Why the fuck would I post that? Like, that's one of those things where I'm like, it doesn't seem like I'm joking, so of course people are gonna think that, but it's just the wildest thing in the world that like people genuinely believe that I like touch my bird on purpose for fun. It's crazy. Like people like genuinely say to me like, oh, you rape your bird. I'm like, I'm not gonna go on a whole tangent on this right now, but animals are my life. And I know everybody says that, but that's one of the only things that I'm in life that I'm truly so crazily passionate about that I can't even talk about it online. I can't talk about it with friends because it's just one of those subjects to me that I can't discuss because I'm vegan. Like animals mean everything to me. Like I would never rape my bird. Like, it was so degrading having to make a TikTok being like, hey guys, I just wanted to say like, I'm not sexually attracted to Marty. That was so degrading making that video, but I like had to. I've been so fucked up over all of these for, you know, months now, because there is genuinely nothing worse than people believing stuff about you that isn't true, especially when it's questioning like morals. It is like the shittiest feeling ever, but there's nothing you can do about it. You know, I was making all sorts of videos on TikTok, like trying to like defend myself, but it doesn't do anything. Like once people see, okay, I heard Emma Chamberlain make a great example for what I'm talking about right now. She said in an interview once on Call Her Daddy actually that she was like, say a story comes out about, you know, this guy that like murdered this person, right? Even if that guy like ends up being proved innocent, he's still gonna always be in people's minds as like that guy that killed someone. So like no matter what I say, like I'm always gonna be known to these people as like the girl that touches her bird and like the girl that like is all sorts of these crazy things. And you know what, like I'm gonna try my best to like not be fucked up over this anymore because like there's nothing I can do. So I just thought it'd be funny to make this video just going through them and talking about it, maybe laughing about a few of them. I never want a scandal again. I'm over it. I'm sick of this shit. It's also like people that spend their time like commenting nasty things on people's social medias. Like it's not like I would ever be friends with somebody like that or care about them at all. So why do I give a fuck what they're saying? You know, like it is such weird and obsessive behavior, like refreshing somebody's TikTok page all day long and like just to comment nasty things on every video that comes up. That is the wildest behavior. I can't relate. I've done a lot of crazy things, but one thing I have never done is like hate on people online. And even if I don't like somebody, like even if I, you know, don't like something that somebody did, or even if I find somebody like annoying, like I would never like comment under their videos, like nasty things. And I'm not saying it's not okay to like, you know, judge people in your own head. Like we're all human, we're gonna do that. That's just something that is like a natural instinct sort of. Like if you see somebody on your For You page that you think is annoying, like, and you're in your head, you're like, oh, this person's fucking annoying. That's fine. It's when you open your mouth and like put it out into the world or like comment under the video, that's when it's wrong. Just keep it in your own head because we're all gonna gossip. We're all gonna, you know, judge in our own heads. And that's fine. It's once you put it into the universe where it's like, oh, like mind your own, you know what I mean? Especially when it's somebody that you don't know online, because like things can get so twisted and warped and all these like crazy narratives can come out. Things are taken the wrong way. It's hard to communicate properly when you don't know the person and you don't know the person at all. It's just someone that you watch online. Like it's hard, I don't know. I won't go on a tangent. I just wanted to talk about my scandals, I don't know. The reasons why everyone hates me. Yeah, I hoped you enjoyed the video. I hoped you enjoyed my pain. But yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry I looked at the viewfinder the entire video. I just realized that I was doing this because somebody commented on it. But yeah, if you wanna follow my other socials, my OnlyFans is It's Taraswrld or Tara's Tits. And then my TikTok and my Instagram are both just taraswrld. I don't use Twitter, I don't use Snapchat, it's boring. So you won't find me on those, but y'all like after this, we don't wanna follow you, so just save your breath. I get it. Bye, I hope you guys had a great New Year's. I did, I'm feeling the effects of it now, but I had a great New Year's and I'm ready to have an awesome year. And I hope all of you guys have an awesome year and you learn things and we all grow together and it's an amazing, wholesome, discovery year for ourselves. But yeah, love ya. Love ya. Bye. Bye. Peace. See ya. Like, why am I so lame? Like, why?